Morning guys, welcome back. If you watched my last video, you'll be aware that I did myself a little bit of mischief. I squashed my finger underneath a log while I was making the buggy track. So unfortunately at the moment I'm on self-imposed light duties. If you want to know about the finger, I basically just dropped the log on it and it squashed it and popped it like a grape. So it's just a crush injury. It was pretty minor. Mary really wanted me to follow it up with a doctor's opinion, so we went to Tugbillaran Hospital the next morning and they said, you know, what I was doing and the way that I was taking care of it and looking after it was, you know, it was fine. And they couldn't really do much anyway. So the split in it is about 3 mil in some places, but they couldn't stitch it back together because the fingernail's in the way. And I didn't really want them to remove it, so I'll just leave it. So I'm just keeping it dressed, but I just don't want to move it too much. Just, you know, until it's kind of closed up a little bit, because the gap in the between the skin surfaces is so far apart. I just need to allow them to, I guess, stitch themselves back together. So just on light duties. Can't really do much in the way of continuing the buggy track because I need to be able to grip the chainsaw, and it's pretty dangerous if you can't grip it properly, so I'll stay away from that at the moment. I can't go swimming, so that's really disappointing. That's one of the main things that I love to do here in the Philippines, especially when it's really, really hot. Can't go swimming at the moment. Yeah, I can put, I guess, a waterproof sleeve or something over it, you know, a rubber glove and tape it to it, but I just want to prevent movement as much as possible. Anyway, so I thought, what am I going to do for a video? And I just remembered that some of my subscribers had asked for a PG-1 review, and you can probably see it in the background. PG-1. Unfortunately, I can't do a review on it yet because it's in pieces. I got carried away and I got a little bit bored yesterday, and I've never really liked the color of the PG-1. I like the design, I like the way that it looks, but I've never really liked the color. It's like when you buy them, they're usually, like if you just buy a normal one, they're a two-tone brown. They've got a really light brown, all the fenders are really light brown, and the seat is a dark brown, and I've never really liked it. So I first got a black seat cover for it, and then I thought, what am I going to do to the horrible brown fenders? So yesterday I got out some paint and I painted them. So I'll just show you my progress. There's the stripped raw PG-1. It's got nothing on it. And then I've got all my little parts here that I've painted ready to go back on. I didn't film myself painting them because it's kind of a boring process, but it's been 24 hours since I did paint them, and I painted them with this. This is a 2K truck bed liner. So it's really strong. It's got a hardener in it. It should be good for when I take the PG-1 on little dirt tracks and jungle tracks, and it's not really going to get scratched. It's, I guess, fuel resistant as well, which is really good. So when I spill fuel on it because I fall over, it's always a bonus. So anyway, I'm just going to put it back together, and then I'll give a little bit of a review. I've never given a review on a motorcycle or a vehicle before, so I'm just going to give you my opinion, tell you what I think of it. Let's put it back together, right? Those need to go back on here. Well, that went back together pretty quickly, which was good. I think it looks pretty good too. As I said before, I wasn't really a big fan of the two-tone brown. It's just not me. I mean, my truck's black, my XSR that I have is black, so I just thought this would look really cool black. So, I don't know, what do you guys think? I personally think the black makes it look much better. Little PG-1. Well, I guess it's review time. Where do you start? I guess we'll start on aesthetics and practicality for traveling. So far I have done, let's have a look at the odometer. I've done 9,599 kilometers on it. So I've done a lot of driving. Before I got the XSR, this was the one that me and Mary used to pretty much go anywhere. It's 115cc, so it's got a pretty small engine. And it's a little bit sluggish with two people on it. So if there's only one of you on it, so for example, if I was just going to take it for a little trip somewhere, it seems to cope pretty well. I'm about 83, 84 kilos, depending on how much I sweat and how much water I sweat out. But if you throw Mary on there as well, you know, she's an extra 50 kilos. So it does struggle a little bit. I'm not going to say it struggles too much because, you know, it tops out at 80 kilometers an hour with two of us on it. I think the speed limit here in the Philippines is about 60 anyway, depending on what roads you're on. So it's definitely capable for Philippine roads. Like if I was to take this to New Zealand, you can't really use it that much. I mean, you can use it around the city centre because the speed limit is 60, but it's not the kind of thing that you can take on a highway and take for highway speed, but it's not really designed for that anyway. A few issues I do have with it is well, it's not issues really, but there's zero storage on it. Like absolutely none. As you can see, there's no built-in storage anywhere on it at all. There is a little compartment. I'll just take the key out. So we put a key in here. This is the fuel tank. It's like a tiny little space that you might be able to fit a phone here. Sometimes I put my poncho on top of the fuel tank, but there's zero storage, so you will have to take like a little backpack or something like that. I do have a drone bag that my drone originally came in, and I'm going to modify it. It's completely waterproof. I'm actually going to modify it to sit it here. So I might do that soon. I'm just going to drill some holes in this plastic, and then I'm going to put some holes in the bottom of the bag, and I'm just going to bolt it to the top. It's got a little zip on the top, so at least I can sit my my phone and, you know, just other sort of stuff in there, maybe the snorkel, maybe some other things. My friend Phil is going to make me up a rack for the bag that sits over here so I can put saddlebags on it as well. This isn't my primary source of transportation when it comes to the motorcycles. I tend to use the XSR more because it's much bigger, it's much more comfortable. But this one here is far more comfortable, and I mean far more comfortable on dirt roads. So it's obviously got much softer suspension. And when you put two of us on it as well, it softens it even more. So we have found when we're going down gravel roads on this, it is much, much more comfortable. It's very small though. As you can see, I'm standing beside it. It's very small. I'll take you guys for a drive in a minute. But a few things that I do have a problem with is the factory paint. So this is kept in my shed. We don't use it very much anymore. I used to use it a lot. That's why it's got 9,500 kilometers on it. But we've never really been that rough with it. I'm quite careful with my vehicles, but I do have a problem with the paint. See, on the handlebars here, I don't know how well that picks up, but all the paint has started to flake off, and that's because my keys, when my key is in the ignition, my keys sort of rub on that, which is kind of, I don't know, that's pretty average Yamaha. You could powder coat it or put some bit of paint on there. I wouldn't expect that. Like, this is only a year and a half old. I wouldn't expect that to peel off after a year and a half. The rubber grips, the rubber handlebar grips, they're looking pretty worse for wear as well. It looks like the rubber has deteriorated quite badly, so I'm going to have to pull those off and put some new ones on. And there's little spots of rust everywhere, which I wouldn't expect. Once again, it is covered all the time. I do keep it in a little shed, and I do put the tarpaulin on it, so I wouldn't expect all the rust. Like the end of the handlebars, that's rusty. We've got rust down here in the shocks. But one of the biggest issues I've found is when I was not water blasting it, when I was washing it, almost the very first time, maybe a few weeks after I bought it, I went down to the Wash and Go, which is a really, really low pressure water blaster for washing your vehicles here because we don't have any running water. And one thing I noticed, if you can see down here, the paint just came off around the spokes in a lot of different areas, and it has started to rust. I really wasn't happy about that. It's happened on the front one as well. You can see that here. So once again, pretty poor quality paint or paint jobs by Yamaha. I have read a few forums, and it's not isolated to my motorcycle. It's quite a few Yamaha PG-1s that happens on. That's kind of the negatives. That's about it for the negatives. I mean, it's a really cool little bike. Once again, it is really small. So if somebody's planning on using this, buying one of these to use for longer trips, say 2 to 3 hours, 4-hour trips, then you're going to have to put some storage on it. If you're going by yourself and you're not a very big person, so if you weigh, I don't know, 60 to 70 kilos, you shouldn't really have a problem with it. It'll do pretty much everything that you need it to do. It does struggle a little bit, as I've said, with my weight going up some hills, but it's the Philippines, right? You're not going fast. You're not in a hurry to get anywhere anyway. But it makes up for its lack of power with the personality and its looks. I think it looks cool. It's like a little retro. It's like a little retro bike. It reminds me of a motorcycle that I used to have. Like it was a Honda Cub or something like that I used to have when I was a kid. Kind of reminds me of that. I guess that's why I bought it, and I guess the nostalgia is why a lot of other people buy it as well. There's lots of modifications that you can do to it, so there's quite a lot of aftermarket accessories for sale online that you can add to it. For example, you can raise up the front fender to be much higher, so you can raise it up here almost like a dirt bike. You can get rid of this horrible plastic on the back, which I'm definitely planning on doing that. I might do that today actually. So the number plate hangs down way too low. You can put much larger tires on it. You can change out the exhaust system. You can get all sorts of little racks on the front and all sorts of options for storage. But price wise, I think this cost me a year and a half ago when it first came out, so it was brand new. It cost me 92,000 pesos, which is pretty reasonable. I think the price has come down now to maybe mid 80s. So it sounds okay. Let's start it up and listen to it. Little 115cc. Nice and quiet. It's not going to disturb you when you're going for a reasonably long drive. Listen to that raw sound of power. The speedo cluster is pretty minimal. You've obviously got your fuel, your speed, your gears. Doesn't have a clock, but I guess I can put a clock on it. It's nice to know the time every now and then. Right, so the running gear and that sort of thing, it doesn't have a clutch, so it's really, really good for beginners. If you've never ridden a motorcycle before, or you want a manual but you're not really familiar with the clutches, or you just don't really feel like constantly changing gears, constantly using the clutch with your left hand because it maybe hurts your wrist, you might have carpal tunnel syndrome or something like that, then this here it's a 4-speed, and you get to change the gears, but it doesn't have a clutch. So it's really simple for beginners. Mary and Lorraine use it all the time, and it's just a really simple way to learn the motorcycle, because you still have to release the throttle as you change gears, otherwise it's gonna be horrible. So you still have to learn to do that. So it's just, I guess, a good way to learn. You can learn to change gears, release the throttle, give it throttle again. Then I guess if you want to upgrade, then you can go to a bigger motorcycle and you can learn how to use the clutch. And after using something like this, it should be pretty good. But right, let's go for a bit of a drive on it. The other good thing about it is because it has no clutch, I can ride it with one hand. Right, so you just start it up, it's in neutral, chuck it into first, and away we go. It's kind of a cool little bike, very, very small. It's got a very smooth ride on gravel roads, and it's just, yeah, it's a cool little bike. And I'm going to emphasize the word, and I'm going to keep emphasizing the word little. It's a very small little bike. So in conclusion, guys, the PG-1 is definitely worthwhile getting. It has its flaws and it has its limitations. It is a small bike. It's not very powerful, but they can also be an advantage as well. So if you're a relatively small person like Mary, it's the perfect size. So it's perfect amount of power. It's the perfect height off the ground. It's really, really simple to drive. It's incredibly fuel efficient. It's got a 5.2 litre fuel tank. So I think 300 pesos will get you a few weeks of driving out of it. It takes us pretty much everywhere that we used to go. We used to take this to Panglao from here, which is about a 2.5 hour drive. The seat on it, I've got to say, the seat on it is much more comfortable than my XSR for long trips. My XSR is more of a sports bike. So it's not really designed for being the most comfortable for two people. And everything on it is quite hard. So the suspension's quite hard. The seat is quite hard. It's very, very minimal. This has got a much thicker seat on it. And the suspension is very, very soft. But I really like it. I've decided I'm not going to sell it anymore. I'm actually going to keep it. I might still buy another one as well. But that's the finished product black. Let me know what you think. I will stick a... Hang on, I'll just get out of it. I'll stick a side-by-side up here somewhere to show you what they look like in the two-tone brown. But right now I'm going to try and stick the storage thing, the drone bag. I'm going to try and stick it on here and see what it looks like. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on the PG-1. Good little motorcycle. A few flaws, but hey. I mean, those paint issues that I was talking about on the wheels, you just get some enamel paint, you just top it up, fix it up, patch it up, whatever you want to call it. Welcome to the Philippines.